Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Bear Barbell podcast. I'm Jonah.
I'm Sarah.
Welcome. Glad to have you. We're getting that one down.
Yeah, it sounded good.
Every week, it's better and better.
Better and better.
Good stuff.
You've got your radio voice on. I like that.
Well, I recorded a video earlier today, so I had yes, this and that and whatever. You know, when I feel like when I'm recording the formal videos, I put on more of a voice.
I think you do.
And so it's still a little bit left over for the podcast. This is Kiss 98.9.
You have a decent radio voice.
I smoked my pipe yesterday, and so I got a little gravel. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we got a lot of fun stuff to discuss.
Yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions in March. Yeah, basically. We'll explain that when we get to it. But we got a couple things to do right off the bat. First and foremost, this podcast is sponsored by the Black Bear Barbell coaching service. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You ever wanted to get coached by yours truly? Well, you can. We go through nutrition planning. We go through what your goals are. A nice strength program for you. Teach you a couple of the gym lifts. You get full access to me. We do weekly check-ins, either on video chat or over the phone. It's a fun little service, and it can help you reach your fitness and strength goals in 2022. Stop putting it off. Get in contact with me, and let's get you the body or the strength goal that you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's your sponsor, me. Cool. The other thing we got to do we got to address some controversy from the last episode.
And I just want to say...
Goodness. Hold on. Okay. Let me set this up.
Okay.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I got it.
All right, go ahead.
First of all, I put out a teaser for last week's episode.
Yeah.
On my Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram. Follow her on Instagram too. But I put this teaser out, and it was the section of the podcast where you were talking about your coffee drinking habits.
Right.
And in my mind, I thought this is going to be a great teaser because everybody will be on my side. And I will be able to say, hey, look, the rest of the world thinks you're crazy. Well, little did I know.
I win.
I
have never felt more loved and supported in all of my life.
Crazy.
Than I did yesterday. Everybody was on team drinking coffee out of an open mug while driving down. Everybody. Every single comment.
There was not one person that said, that's weird.
Yeah.
I was floored.
It was women supporting women.
Absolutely.
You've been gaslighting me about that for years.
I guess so. We're going straight to the G word. You've been gaslit.
I have been gaslit, but no longer.
My apologies. You're girl bossing now.
Yeah. Well, and as I thought about it more and more, I realized I get that from my dad.
Yeah.
Because my dad, this is nuts. My dad drinks like 3 pots of coffee a day, right?
Yeah.
And pot number 1 is consumed en route to his job.
Yeah.
He drives like 40 minutes every day.
Nice.
And he has like a regular size like tumbler, and it has a lid on it, so don't be upset.
So I'm on board there.
Right?
So far, so good.
He's drinking coffee out of his regular size, like 24 ounce like mug cup that fits in his cup holder. But a whole pot of coffee is not fitting into that bad boy, right?
Hold on. How much is a pot of coffee? 16 ounces?
Like,
more
you
than
know
that?
the drip coffee machine?
Right.
Like,
Okay, so a lot.
Yeah, like a lot.
Okay.
And so he has a big, like, I don't know, 64-ounce huge tumbler thermos, full of the rest of the pot of coffee that he had brewed in the morning. And so what this guy does, my dad, I love this. He finishes his coffee.
Yep.
He's driving across the Howard Franklin Bridge probably into like St. Pete, right?
Yep.
And he drives with his knees.
Okay.
Puts the travel mug between his legs, unscrews the lid.
Okay.
Gets the big tumbler, unscrews that lid, refills hot coffee into the travel size mug out of his thermos, rescrews the lid, puts it in the passenger seat, rescrews the lid, keeps drinking while driving. Driving with his knees across a bridge across the Tampa Bay.
Here's the thing.
I can't even touch that.
You've improved on that formula because you're not pouring coffee. You're just drinking
I'm just drinking coffee.
Hey, I'll take that.
He is pouring hot coffee that's been in a thermos into, it's absolutely nuts. He has a larger tumbler now. He texted me yesterday. He got a new one. It doesn't fit in the cup holder anymore, but it is large enough to, survive the commute to work.
Goodness gracious, that is absurd.
Yeah. And he did that for like years.
That is absolutely insane.
Isn't it? It isn't. That is insane. I'm with you there.
Okay, so
because like at least I have a hand on the wheel.
A little insight into me. I don't drive and eat. I barely can drive and drink. Like when we're on road trips.
Yeah, you can barely drink out of a straw.
Right.
And
I make you drive when we stop. I'm like, okay, we got to switch now because I got to eat in the passenger seat.
Because I have no problem.
Because I have a very specific way that I'm going to eat my food. I'm going to go bite a burger, into fry, into sip, right?
Because you have to alternate.
Yes.
I do not.
You go full burger, fries, and then you drink your drink.
And then I drink the drink.
Which is just, God,
Are you going to gaslight me about this too?
That's so weird.
I think all the people are going to continue to be on my side.
No way. You want to get a nice little bouquet of all the different flavors.
I think probably the population of the world is split 50-50.
I would imagine, yeah.
On
mixing
versus one thing at a time.
Right.
And for me, it's not like a compulsion or like I just don't like it.
No, I know.
I'm eating this now. This is what I'm eating. I'm going to finish this task and then I'm going to eat the next thing.
It's not compulsive for me either. It's literally just,
that's what you like.
I want to mix. I love a good like bowl, like mixing a bunch of flavors together.
I love to mix foods together. My favorite lunch in high school, my favorite schooling, I would always buy lunch on the days when they had chicken nuggets. Because
those are the best.
It was chicken nuggets, corn, and mashed potatoes.
Oh, man.
And I would chop up the chicken nuggets and mix all three of those together.
Dude.
I have no problem mixing food.
You just brought up a deep memory in me.
Yeah.
Those chicken fingers.
Yeah. And the corn was so good. That like canned corn. Oh, man. I love canned corn.
Shout out to Chef Carr. He was our chef in high school.
Absolutely.
He was the best.
Yeah.
But okay, we've spent
8
minutes on that. But that was cool that we had a lot of, not cool for me, but cool that you got a moment.
It was just girls supporting girls, man. I had the best day ever.
We really appreciate you guys interacting with us on that. And we'd love for more of it. So you can follow us both on Instagram. Send us your weird eating habits.
Yeah.
You can comment down below, all that jazz too. And join the Discord. Yeah. We'd love to keep talking to you.
Yeah.
So you want to get into the main topic for the day?
Sure, let's
Well, first of all, how was your week?
It was really busy.
Yeah, still nose to the grindstone.
Even worse. Even worse.
What happened?
We started a new documentation system, and as the youngest person in the rehab department, I am tech support.
Hell yeah.
It's not that I'm great with computers.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You're
medium
decent with computers.
Yeah, you're a lot better than you were.
I'm not an idiot, but I'm easily 20 years younger than some of my coworkers.
And they are
probably
doing a lot
more.
Worse with the documentation, huh?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was not good.
Oh, and everybody, where I work, we kind of get to work when we get to work, right? It's not like everybody starts at 9. It is not like that. I usually get in at 7. There's people who get in as late as like 11.
Yeah. Right.
It's just according to how you want to live your life.
Right. That's cool.
It is cool. It's very flexible. But it kind of backfired on me this week because I'm the only one who knows how to do, I was the only one who could teach anybody to clock in.
Oh boy.
For a while.
Oh no.
So I would be helping, coworker number 1, like, okay, you do this, 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 and this. And somebody else is walking in and starting their day, and they don't really know what I'm talking about until they get to the point where they've run into the same problem that person number 1 ran into 20 minutes ago. And so it's like I finished with them and I'm about to go start treating my patients. And then it's like, oh, hey, I heard you talking to so-and-so about, do you know how to do this? I'm like, I do. And so I help them. And then somebody else is now trying to clock it. And it's just, and before you know it, 2 hours has gone by and I haven't started.
You should have just filmed yourself doing
I know.
Step 1, step 2, because it just, having to start over that many times, I would have been so frustrated.
Or I'd be in a patient's room doing a session and somebody would text me like, hey, where are you? I can't clock out. I need to go home, but I can't figure out how to clock out. And it's like, I'm in,
I'm currently doing my real job.
2:17, stop on by.
Yeah.
And, then I would always laugh with my patients, but it's like, I'm the youngest one here, so I'm the only one who knows how to clock out. Because everybody knows computer woes. Right. I mean, even though my patients are mostly in their 80s, by the time they were retiring, computers were starting to become a part of the workday. Yeah. So they can, for the most part, empathize with the difficulty of, whatever. So I worked a lot this week.
That very similar, not that I was tech support, but when I was an intern at a law firm, for some reason, this was in 14, 15.
Yeah.
They were on Windows 95.
Are you serious?
I walked in and I was like, what is this? Like, at least go to 2007.
Jeez.
I don't know. Like, technology in a lot of like corporate and healthcare is just like so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because people don't want the learning curve.
Right.
To like start a new system. It must have slowed you guys down like a ton.
It slashed our productivity.
Oh, yeah.
Slashed
And I think that's why they didn't want to do it at the law firm, was just like, we know our old partners know how to use Windows 95 and not destroy our file system. So let's not update it and like, lose everything.
If it's still working and it's not slowing us down.
Don't change it.
Why change it?
Right.
I think the system that we were using was bought by the company that owns the system we're now using, and I think they're doing away with it.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So it's kind of a bummer. I don't love the new system. It's the one that I used at my old job, actually. That's the other reason why.
Yeah, you already had
I'm only the only person who's used it within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
The place where I work used to use the new system like 10 years ago, but it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
And I used it 2 years ago. So I'm the youngest person on the team.
And you
I
have experience.
used it recently. So
there you go.
Yeah, it was a crazy week.
Yeah, but you made it.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it was a good week.
Yep.
I didn't mind it.
I had a pretty good week.
Good.
Yeah, my sessions are going really well. I feel like I'm making solid progress. I mean, as a trainer, you've got to kind of walk the line between being too involved in your client's results and not involved enough.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I think obviously you're one person and I think I have like 25, 30 clients on a given week, maybe more than that. So if I was deeply emotionally involved in all of their processes, I think that would just burn me out.
Oh yeah.
So you have to you got to mitigate how much you're involved in each person, because you know, life happens. Some people fall off, some people are doing really well. And so it's hard to, for me, I measure success by the success of my clients. But sometimes they're not in the place where either weight loss or strength gain is really clicking. Some overly stressed at work or some medical issue, I have people in and out for surgeries and stuff like that. And then it kind of feels like we're restarting.
Yeah.
But I think that I've been doing this at this specific gym for almost a year now. Mm-hmm. And I've come to kind of a better place of understanding, like, I'm going to give my best and I'm going to give emotional support to the point where I'm not getting burned out if you're not succeeding.
Yeah.
And even if you're not succeeding, we will try and redefine success for you. We'll try and find something that is going well and we'll focus on that until the rest of it catches up. Mm-hmm. So that's been really good. Then on
it's a great outlook.
It helps.
It does.
Because when I first started, I was I only had 5 or 6 clients and I was very emotionally involved right. And when,
I remember.
I was taking it worse than they were when they weren't seeing the results that they wanted.
Yeah.
And I really had to step back and figure that out a little bit more. But personally, finally, like, I was stuck at 270 pounds for a month straight, and just slashed calories week by week down by 200. The weight was not moving. Finally, this week, we're down like 5-6 pounds.
Amazing.
Which has been really, really nice mentally.
That's great.
Obviously, I knew, like, process-wise, I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. But at the end of the day, sometimes not seeing that number change can be brutal. So tough.
Yeah.
But the thing that I did was I had lost an inch on my waist, so my weightlifting belt was fitting different. So I said, okay, weight's coming off, And I was feeling a lot better. And then just looking at the mirror and being like, yeah, there's some changes happening here. Even if the scale doesn't say it, there's still some things that are happening. But for me, because my goal is to get to a particular weight class and the number on the scale is so important.
It matters, yeah.
Not seeing that come down was really brutal.
Probably made you feel like you were behind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I want to compete in June.
Right.
And, I was like, well, this is a whole month that I basically have to write off. But this week, I'm basically back on track.
Right.
So.
I think sometimes it goes in waves.
It does.
Which is weird.
My thing, too, is I have I don't know if there's a lot of science behind this, but I have a natural sticking point at around 270 pounds. Because for my entire adult life, since I was 16 till I gained a lot of weight during the pandemic, I hovered around 265 to 280, but like just stayed there.
Yeah.
And so I think my body, I don't know. I might be talking out my ass. But
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
My body was good there.
Yeah.
And so it just was like, nah, we're chilling, bro. Like 270 feels
stop
good.
Stop trying to mess with a good thing.
And I think I looked pretty good at 270. I felt pretty good at 270. So it's not like I was having a bad body image. It was literally just, I need to get to this certain weight so I can compete at the weight class that I want to.
Right.
You know? So that was good too. It wasn't like, oh my God, I hate the way that I look. And that was really driving me down. But those are two very positive things that have happened over the week. So that's great. Awesome. Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
So today we are talking about, it's 3 months into 2022.
Right.
Feels like the time's flying, but we're here.
We're almost done with quarter number 1.
Right. So what I like to do is, and I find like the beginnings of things to be very powerful. The start of a new week, the start of a new month, the start of a new day. Being able to start fresh and say, okay, the mistakes of the past are the past, and now we're moving forward.
Yeah.
So every month I like to do this, but I think because it's 3 months in and it's like we're almost done with the quarter, it's very helpful to do this quarterly as well. Reassessing, if you're a person that does New Year's resolutions or makes goals for the new year, it doesn't have to be resolutions, reassessing where you are in those goals.
Right.
Yeah. So today, I think Sarah and I are going to talk a little bit about the goals that we had going into this year, our progress with them, and things that maybe don't really matter to us anymore and we kind of let fall away, or things that we want to reapproach. Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you want to start?
Sure.
We'll go back and forth. You go one and I'll go one.
Okay, so like one goal at a time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we kind of talked about last week how some of my goals are on the back burner right now. But I guess I'll start with the one thing that I've more or less kept up with. I'm a big reader.
Yep.
And I tend to read a lot of fiction. And so I was kind of getting tired of that. And I'd like read a lot of the things that I had wanted to read in classic fiction and modern fiction. Not that I've read like everything. There's still a lot that I want to read, but I'd kind of like come pretty far. And so this year I wanted to make a really just a big effort to branch out a little bit and to read more different types of things, branching out geographically a little bit as well in my reading, because I read a lot of like just American and like
English,
Western European, like French, German type of stuff, and I've read a lot of like Latin American fiction or just stuff, not just fiction, from all my Spanish classes. So I wanted to branch out a little bit.
Like
more.
Like Eastern, Asian, and Middle Eastern, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
because I've read a lot of Asian history, because that was one of my focuses.
And so I would love to read some of your old books this year. I have them all on the bookshelf. But I'm a big paper and pen kind of gal.
Oh man, she brought the planner.
I brought the planner because
it's Grogu on there.
Yeah, how cute is he, right? Yeah. Little Grogu.
I don't know if you guys
probably
can see
can't see it.
Take our words for it.
It's really stinking cute. But so I'm not a big cell phone like goal tracker person. I just don't find it to be as customizable as I want it to be. Yeah. I just don't like it.
I get that.
That's the long and the short of it. I don't like it. So I have, look how cute.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to try and hold this up. Like this is a year of reading, and obviously only the first 2 months are filled out because I haven't finished any books yet this month.
I might take a picture of this and then overlay it in.
Yeah, that would be great. But so basically, I'm keeping track every month of the books that I've read, and up at the top, I want to read a certain number of different things quarterly. Yeah. Which fits in well with our quarterly review. So every quarter I want to reread an old favorite, which is something that I don't do enough.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't do that.
I have favorite books, and I have a list on my Goodreads, Be My Friend on Goodreads, of like my it's around 30 books right now of like my favorite books of all time.
Right.
And most of them I've only read once.
I don't think I've ever reread a book.
I really enjoy rereading books.
I've reread...
And I don't do it very much.
I've reread Lord of the Rings, and I've reread Dune. That's about it.
But yeah, so I would love to reread some like old favorites that I haven't read in a while.
Yeah. Like
one at the top of my list is The Poisonwood Bible, which I read twice in high school, and I haven't read since. And it's an awesome book.
I think the cool thing about that, and like for me, it's like rewatching movies.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is like you as a person kind of change.
Yeah.
And so your digestion of the material changes, which is really cool.
Yeah. So I kind of thought at the beginning of the year, I made a list of like 5 or 6 top candidates for a reread.
Yeah.
So that's one. I want to read a poetry collection, a couple of plays, and a short story collection every quarter.
Nice.
I want to read a nonfiction book
Yep.
every quarter, and I want to read something in a foreign language every quarter.
Nice.
And that all sounds like a lot, but a lot of them are overlapping or small.
Oh, yeah.
So like right now I'm reading a Spanish play.
Yeah. So
That's
you're getting 2. Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
And with me being really busy right now, I've been kind of intentional about like, that was a purposeful choice.
Yeah.
Like, could I have read an English play?
Separate, yeah.
Yes, I could have.
That's cool. That's a good idea. And you being mindful enough to be like, yeah, I'm going to hit both of these at the same time.
Yeah.
And, because I'm so busy outside of these hobbies.
Right. Or like choosing shorter books.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with I love short books.
Dude,
short books are great. Long books are great too.
I'm a fan of the tight 90-minute movie and a 300 or page or less book.
Yeah. And so I've color coded, you'll see in the overlay picture, but I've color coded each of those goals has a different color.
Yeah.
And so as I'm writing things into, as I finish a book, I can kind of see, and I have little check marks down at the bottom of each quarter.
Yeah.
So this quarter so far, I've actually read 2 nonfictions this quarter. I've read a short story collection, and I'm working on a play right now. What's the other one? I did short stories. And I read poetry. I did a poetry.
Good.
And then there's a lot of things that don't fit into any of those goals. You can see all the black ones are just regular
stuff.
books that I want to read.
Yeah.
And so this is going really well. This month, since it's the end of the quarter, I need to finish the Spanish play, so that'll knock off 2, and then I need to do a reread.
Yeah.
And then that will be
the quarter.
the quarterly goal.
Good job.
And it's been manageable, actually.
Yeah.
So I think that's going really well. And I really love watching this fill up as the year goes by. I did the writing in by the month last year, but I didn't have these goals. I just wrote. It's basically just a list of the books that I read, and that was great, and I really liked it.
That's what I do. I keep a list on my notes app.
Yeah, so this is basically just a list that looks pretty.
Yeah.
And I have really liked that, and this has been kind of the one thing that I've kept up with as life has been really busy, because for me reading is relaxing.
I was about to say,
it's not a goal. Really, it's just
which
I
is
like it.
It's a cool point that it's one of your hobbies, but
is.
you can still kind of do it a little bit more intentionally and a little bit more goal oriented.
And like we talked about last time, modulating what I'm doing to match the bandwidth that I have right now.
Yeah.
Reading shorter books, doubling up on goals so that I'm still staying on track with what 100%. I want to accomplish this year, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm not overly pushing myself. And I'm having fun. And it has been nice to read some different things. The Sound of Gravel that I talked about 2 weeks ago, that was a nonfiction from this quarter.
Yeah.
And I might have put that one off if I hadn't been like, I should read a nonfiction book this month.
Yeah.
Because the quarter, is drawing short and let's just go ahead. I want to read this book. Let's go ahead and read it. Great book.
Nice.
And I enjoyed it a whole heck of a lot. So it's been fun so far.
Good work.
So yeah, there you go.
So one of mine that I started this year off a little slow, but I came into 2022 wanting to be more consistent with my YouTube content. Because I started this whole wild experiment in the middle of the pandemic, and I started with a Twitch live stream, which I was just doing to have something to do in the day. And then I realized that I had a lot of fun interacting with people, playing games, just talking about general fitness as well, which was kind of one of the themes of my Twitch streams. And so I decided to start making YouTube content. And it was very discouraging to put stuff out that you felt like wasn't up to your quality standard. Because I went to film school and there's this idea like, oh, I know how to do this better. I've thrown that yoke off of myself. I am putting out content that I am proud of, that I can do on a weekly basis with my other responsibilities, work, my other, coaching business, but also stuff that I think will be impactful to the people watching it. And if people watch it, perfect, excellent. If they don't, we try again next week.
Fun.
Right, exactly. So that's something, and it was a slow start. I didn't get all of January done, but the goal, to put it into like physical terms, is 1 video a week, edited content, and 1 podcast a week.
So far, so good.
We've hit a month of that. This is our 4th episode. We've done a full month.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
right. So I was reflecting on that yesterday, and I went back and looked at some of my older content. And the other thing I noticed was, you can kind of tell in the first couple of videos, and if you guys want to do it, go back and look at the first couple of videos that I posted.
Like ever
On this channel. There was a couple training vlogs. I felt like I was very deeply depressed.
And you can tell?
And you can tell.
Wow.
At least to me. I feel like I'm a different person now. Not personality-wise, but outlook.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely more positive than I was. And I'm not judging my past self. We were in the middle of a pandemic. I had just lost my job. I had just changed careers completely.
Yeah.
Because I was doing film.
Right.
Here in Atlanta, and that had kind of been taken away from me. And that has turned out to be a blessing, because I love doing this, and I love being a personal trainer and being a coach. But in the moment, losing your job and kind of realizing I went to school for 2 years and now I'm not doing the thing that I went to school for, it can be very discouraging. But I think that making these videos has helped me kind of come out of that, because I am using a lot of the skills that I learned at school.
You are.
And I am still being creative, which is something that I feel like is deeply part of my personality. But I'm doing it in a way that is also supporting a growing business, my coaching business, and my other job.
Yeah.
Because I can stay up to date on the research and better help my clients.
Yeah.
So in reflection of that, the past month has been excellent. And I'm going to take this next quarter, these next 3 months, and every Monday there will be a video out. Regardless of what's going on, I will be putting out a Monday video, edited content, something that I think is going to help the people that are watching it. And then every Friday there will be a podcast.
That's great.
That's the goal.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool yesterday to kind of look at the past and see how far I've come. Because in the grand scheme, I've only been doing this for a year. This edited content and being a personal trainer.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've made a huge jump.
You have.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
There's still obviously so much space for me to grow. And I have so many loftier goals. I'm going to open a gym. I'm going to be a full-time coach, more in a strength context than personal training. But like we talked about, stopping along the way and understanding that there's still growth, even though you haven't reached the ultimate goal, has been very helpful to me.
Nice. I'm glad you finally came around to like that mindset, because I mean that's something I've talked to you about for years.
I used to think, and we're getting a little deep here, but I used to think that being pessimistic was being realistic.
Yeah, you did think that.
And to a certain extent, I think that was inbred in my personality. I do believe in genetically, personality is genetic based, but I also believe that you can manipulate that and you can learn. We are adaptable creatures.
Yeah.
And so my initial thought is always, this isn't going to work out. But I'm forcing myself to then say, you know what? This is funny, actually. So I read a book about mindset and about outlook, and the author's Carol Dweck. She's done a lot of work on mindset. But basically, she talks about naming your negative mindset. So mine's named Moby. You know why? Because I'm Jonah and the whale, most famous whale, Moby Dick. So whenever I think like, I'm very in tune with those negative thoughts now, to where, like what I just said, I'm going to open a gym.
It also sounds like mopey.
Yeah, that too. So just finishing that book and reading, it's in the last chapter, she talks about personifying your negative self-talk or whatever it is. She calls it your fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And I think that helped a lot, like being fixed in your thoughts. And it's a great, man, I wish I could remember the title of the book. I'll tell you next week. But it's a great book about the first 10 chapters are all of her experiments that she did with children on fixed mindsets. Coming in, and one of the examples is like priming the kid. They're about to do hard math problems. You have one group of children that comes in and they say to them, we heard from your teachers that you're really good at math, so we're going to test that. And then they say to the other kids, we heard from your teachers that you're really bad at math. and we're going to test that. Both of them
Yeah.
are pretty much baseline math based on their grades, right?
Yeah.
So they're controlled in that way.
Yeah.
The people that were primed with you're good at math blew it out of the park.
Well, you know, one of our professors at Samford did that to his own kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did because he never thought that he was very good at math.
Yeah.
And so he hates math. And so
I remember this.
when he had kids, he was
Yeah.
like, I don't want my kids to feel so negative about themselves academically like I did. And so I'm going to tell them that they're good at math.
Yeah.
And every day before he would help them with his math homework, he would tell them something good about how well they were doing
Yeah.
in math. Like, you did a great job with your homework yesterday, or your teacher called me and said you did a really good job in class in math today.
Yeah.
Like, every day he would tell them they were good at math.
Yeah.
Even though him and his wife were both not
And
very good at math.
the
So they didn't get any
science-
math skills from their parents,
The
right?
science bears that out.
His kids are like math geniuses.
Yeah.
Like, by the time we were in his class, his kids were like getting on towards like late middle school, early high school, and they were both in honors math.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like,
Wild.
it's just example after example after example in that book about that type of stuff. And having a
Yeah.
growth mindset is just so powerful. There's another one, like, you know, the 3 daughters who learned to play chess. You've never heard of this?
No.
So, oh my goodness, this is incredible. There's a guy, he was a Russian chess champion, and he was like, I'm going to teach my daughters to play chess as if they are grandmasters. So even like
going really hard on them.
not so much hard on them, but like not treating them as children when they first started, teaching them these concepts and seeing how fast they could pick it up. And all 3 of them became female grandmasters.
Wow, and that's pretty
All
rare.
3 of them.
That's
Very
There's
rare.
not that many female grandmasters.
Very rare. Yeah.
Wow.
But based on the fact that he told them, you guys are capable of chess, you guys are capable of understanding these concepts, that's what really, and obviously there's a genetic component to it.
Yeah.
We're not saying that you can tell yourself you're going to fly and you can fly within reason, but there's power in a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Man, we kind of got off track here,
But that's really cool.
yeah, so
and it's
that's
true.
So that's Moby. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Make it something that you know, either someone that you don't really like very much or
Well, I think your Moby is like really funny.
yeah.
And so it probably immediately brings you out of the negativity
Yeah.
to say something as silly as
Yeah.
Moby.
I imagine like a little whale floating into the back of my head and being like, "Oh, you're not gonna do this," and I'm like, "What's up, Moby? Good to see you again. Get the hell out of my head right now. You're wrong." You know. So it's something like that, and that it really helps. Like
Like
the
you make it cute.
Yeah, the personification of that negative idea. Because if it's just an idea, it's hard to hold on to it and fight it.
Yeah.
If it's a person, you can more or a thing, you can more actively fight against it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You got any more goals?
Yeah. I mean, most of which are on the back burner.
Right. We talked about a lot of them last.
But another big one is
let me reframe it.
yeah.
Are there any goals that you have decided within the first 3 months that maybe it's not as important to you that you get those goals done in 2022? Did I just spring that one on you too fast?
No, that's a good question. I don't know.
No.
I mean, I think I like the things that I'm working towards.
Yeah.
Like I'm working towards Russian. We talked about that. Exercise is on the back burner.
Right.
I do want to run a 5K this year.
Yeah.
I have not exercised in at least a month.
Well, I wanted
at
to buy a treadmill and put it in the garage, but we saw a spider in the garage a couple days ago, and she will not enter the garage now.
Yeah, the garage is your place now.
I killed it, and I put it outside.
It has friends.
It doesn't. Spiders are notorious. They're like wolves. No, that's not true. Wolves have packs. They're
do.
like, what's an animal that stays on its own? I don't know.
They're
'Cause they're like
animals don't do
spiders.
that. Well, Charlotte's Web speaks against that.
Well,
Charlotte was a very friendly spider.
The bastion of biology, Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was a very friendly spider. She had a lot of friends.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
I do want to get back into the exercise, but I'm not planning to start back anytime soon.
No, and I think the fact that you know that and that you're not beating yourself up about that, but you still say, okay, this is a goal that's important to me, but when things calm down, I'll be able to do that. I think is very healthy.
Yeah, I do want to consider like having a step goal for the day.
Oh, that leads into one of mine.
Right. But I've heard you thinking out loud about this, and it made me think about it. It's like, okay, exercise is on the back burner, But maybe I can like actually set a small goal.
Yeah.
Like
Just a movement goal.
Right. At work, I usually get ballpark 6,000 steps.
Right.
So like what if I said 7,000 a day?
Yeah.
So that I have to do something intentional when I get home for 5 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, that's 1,000 steps is
not very,
quick.
5-10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm considering that as like a placeholder.
Yeah. Well, I'll pick that up and say that one of my goals that I've reaffirmed, last year I was big into getting steps and I kind of had fallen off this year, but I really think that a step goal can be an active or a very physical evidence to your daily movement. Obviously, your NEAT, your total daily energy expenditure. So I was setting a goal of like 13,000 steps last year. I had completely fallen off of that.
Yeah.
This year. And I think that maybe contributed to the lack of weight loss because this week I have hit 12,000 steps religiously every day. And that was a goal that I had reaffirmed at the start of March every day, even Saturdays, which is a day that I take rest from the gym. Mm-hmm. Even that day, it's going to be an active rest day and I'm still going to get those steps. And a thing that I've done that's really helped, a really, really strong dude, a really smart guy. His name is Stan Efferding, Effirding. Look him up on Instagram. He is the creator of the Vertical Diet, which is pretty cool. It's very, very carnivore light. You still use carbs and stuff like that, but it's better, I think, for bulking, but it can still be very good. It's just maybe meat, carbs, and vegetables, man. That's about it. Very simple. But one of the things that he really talks about is the post-meal walk for 10 minutes. So
every meal?
Right. So you've noticed every meal, I'm walking back and forth just in the house. I'm not even going outside. Just in our longest part of the house for 10 minutes. Set a timer on my phone, walk back and forth. The steps are done like that. Helps with digestion. Helps me to kind of not overeat because I eat very quickly. Because
you don't want to feel like crap as you're walking.
I eat very quickly. And so when I'm done eating, instead of saying, I want something else to eat, I say, okay, now it's time to walk. And then by the time I'm done walking, that feeling of satiety has hit in.
Interesting.
So that's been really, really cool. I've liked that one a lot. So that's another goal that I think I've reaffirmed the importance of that goal and I'm actually acting on that importance.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've made me think about whether having a step goal would be reasonable and productive for me. I think it would be productive. I don't think there's any question about that.
But is it something that can fit?
I think it's the reasonable question that I need to think about a little bit more and think about what kind, like I'm 10,000 steps a day right now, unreasonable.
Yeah.
8,000?
8,000. Which there is research that shows that after 8,000 steps, the general health benefits kind of drop off. So if you're looking for a step goal, 8,000 is a great start. It's not very difficult.
Right. Especially because, my job is quite active.
Yeah.
And so I think I need to look at, my, like within the last month, my average daily steps
and see,
and determine.
Maybe add 1,000 to 2,000 on top of that.
Right.
Right.
Let's cut it in the middle, 1,500.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's what I want to kind of
one thing
look at.
So
it's the weekends that are hard for me.
Exactly.
Like today,
which
I don't even have 3,000 steps yet.
Yeah.
And it's like
and I'm almost at
2
10.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go for a walk after this.
Yeah, that would be good.
One thing that I get a lot is I'm very fortunate to have an active job. As a personal trainer, I'm always on my feet. I'm always moving around. But most of my clients are sedentary.
Right.
Computer programmers, they work in an office, etc.
Right.
So they'll be done with work after an 8-hour day and they'll have maybe 1,500 steps.
Wow.
It has to become something that you are actively trying to do. So couple solid strategies. Couple walking with something that you do normally. So if you're going to the bathroom, take an extra 3 minutes after your bathroom break and
take a lap.
Take a lap. If you are a smoker, don't smoke. But if you are, when you go for your smoke break, walk. Right. Don't smoke.
Yeah, don't smoke.
Coffee break, same thing. Or set a timer on your phone every hour and a half. Timer goes off or a little notification on your desktop computer.
Between each meeting.
Take an extra 5 to 10 minutes. Take a lap. Try and avoid some coworkers you don't want to talk to or talk to them. I don't know. Life's about people. And go for the walk. And if you do that If you do that,
It adds up really fast.
3 to 5 times a day, I guarantee you will see a noticeable difference.
It adds up fast.
In your general energy level throughout the day. Post lunch, a little walk is going to get you pumping and ready to go.
Yeah.
So you don't have that slump towards the end of the day. I promise you.
Yeah.
Throw that in there. Like I'm telling you, it's powerful.
Yeah. Because that's something that I've been reevaluating is, like we were talking about last week, I used to get home and have the time to do a 20-minute bike ride and oftentimes a 15 to 20 minute like strength workout.
Circuit, yeah.
And I felt great doing that. I have not had the bandwidth at all to do anything like that recently.
Yeah. But I think
I could benefit from a little bit more energy. I think I could benefit from just kind of maintaining some sort of physical health.
I was about to say the solution is the thing that you think is going to be worse for you. The last thing you want to do is a little bit of physical activity when you come home. But I think if you do it.
But I don't have time for what I was doing.
Right.
So I need to reevaluate and figure out a way to fit something in.
Yeah. And if you can get that done, I think that the rest of your day is going to feel a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, it would be in the evening.
Right. But that's what I mean. Like the rest of your night is you're not going to.
Maybe I won't get on the doom scroll.
Exactly.
Because I'm bad about that.
You are on Instagram for a long time.
My screen time is not that bad overall.
No, not overall.
I would say compared to the general populace,
Definitely
I'm doing
not.
okay.
There's no judgment from this side of the room, but I am.
But all of my screen time is at night.
You do get caught in the loop.
I do. I get. Absolutely.
So do I.
But
I'll scroll
really
YouTube
do.
for hours.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah.
These apps are formulated to do that, to keep you there, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's something that I've reevaluated in terms of adding in. As far as taking something away, I don't think I'm there right now because I haven't done anything.
Right.
It's been a while since I've really done some of my goals.
Right.
Outside of just maintenance.
Yeah.
So that's something that I actually have on my monthly dashboard on here is evaluate and restart goals.
Nice.
Because I anticipate having a coworker by the end of the month.
Hopefully, knock on wood.
I better. I've got probably about 2 or 3 weeks left to hang on.
Good.
So by the end of the month, I want to have completed like a evaluate and restarting
and kind of have
goals.
a plan of how to get back into
and then have April be okay. I'm doing everything again. And then figuring out if there's anything that I do want to take away.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are some things that I really haven't done in a long time.
Yeah.
Coding, have not done in probably 5 months.
Yeah.
Because the holidays got really busy. We were traveling a lot, and then I was too busy at work.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to continue to explore.
Yeah.
But I have not opened it, have not gone on the website.
That's fine.
Since probably November.
It's fine.
It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is. I'm not upset about it. I've been okay not doing it.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's like, okay, maybe this is something that I need to do more and then really be critical about.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I did enjoy it a lot, so I might be really glad to get back to it.
There you go.
I don't know.
I think the idea of reevaluating goals is super important. Like I always say, don't let someone else tell you that you should be doing this because it will make you better. Mm-hmm. Try it yourself for a little bit. And if it's not something that is aligning with your values, call back to last week, get it out of there.
Yeah.
You do not waste the time, the precious time that you have on this earth doing something that does not align with your values.
Right.
It's just not worth it.
It's good to try new things.
Right.
But just because you're trying something new doesn't mean you have to do it forever.
Exactly. And give yourself...
You might hate it. There's nothing wrong with trying something and hating it.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
I've tried a lot of things that I've hated in my life.
Yeah. And you just say, you know what? I've tried to learn how to draw 3 or 4 times in my life.
It's not going to happen for you.
It's not for me.
It's not going to happen.
I am not that medium is not great.
No.
Paint, drawing, sculpture. I do my creativity through this.
Yeah.
Computer, editing software, stuff that I don't actually have to take a pencil out or a brush.
Yeah.
Right? But I've tried those things and now I know confidently.
Yep.
It's just not for me.
No.
So just try stuff, but don't get caught in this. Don't get sunk cost, right? Don't say I've put this much time into it. I might as well keep going. It's a fallacy.
Well, then you're going to sink way more.
Get out of there, baby.
Yeah. I mean,
pull the plug.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any goals that I have removed from my,
I don't know.
I don't think so. I didn't when I set up like yearly goals, I try and be as prejudiced as possible. Like
do as few
as I can. Yeah. That I, maybe one or two major things.
Or like adapt a goal that you've already been working on.
Right. And
like my reading
that.
goal, like refresh.
Right. Exactly.
What you're already doing.
I don't think I'm in a place that I really need to get rid of anything.
Yeah.
I try and do one health goal, one job, career-oriented goal, one spiritual goal, and one relationship goal. So a couple of I feel like this podcast has been a career and relationship goal.
Yeah.
Because it's been really nice to get to talk to you for we talk
all the time.
Yeah. But for a dedicated, hour to whatever it's
nice.
It's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah. So that's been really cool. And it's helping me put out some more content. Obviously the health goal is the weight loss thing.
Right.
Spiritual goal is just I'm trying to be more thankful, practice more gratitude for the time that I have. Because you just never know, and I think world events in the past couple of years, if that doesn't show you that you don't know how much time that you are blessed with on this earth, then I don't know what else to tell you, man. You're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Which is it shouldn't be a depressing thing.
No.
It should, for me.
That's just the truth.
Right. That's the truth. And you have to convert that feeling into, well, thank God that I have the time now. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to be thankful. So I've been trying to greet my friends on our group chats a little bit more every morning and tell them that I'm thankful for them because they are a positive influence in my life. Trying to just, after every day of work, very thankful that I got to do this and help impact people, And it can be it's a slight little thing that I think in my head. Wow, I got through another day. Thankful that day is done, that I get to relax, and thankful that now I get to train myself. It's just that type of stuff.
That's really sweet. And I like that a lot.
I would encourage you to do that.
Yeah, I think that would be great for everybody to do.
The other thing that's really cool, and I got this from the Huberman Lab podcast. I shouted him out a couple episodes ago, but giving gratitude as well. So not just internally.
Like telling people.
Right. So I'm trying to be more intentional with you. Thanks for making me this meal. And, thanks for spending time with me in this, in X, Y, Z. Thanks for doing this task for me. With everybody, my coworkers, my friends, you, my parents. And that kind of bounces back, So that's something that I've in terms of spirituality and just being thankful for the moments here on earth.
That's really sweet.
Right?
I like that.
So that's what I do is kind of separate them out. So I reassessed all those and I'm good with all those. So I'm going to keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel good about how the first quarter has been going, even though life has taken a pretty unexpected turn for me.
Yeah. You got thrown a curveball.
I did. And I think I've handled it in the best way that I could.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I could have done better.
Yeah.
Especially attitude wise. I mean, when I get tired, I kind of shut down a little bit.
It's tough. You literally there's something very difficult about having a plan and thinking that the way things were are how they're going to be.
Yeah,
and then the rug getting pulled out from underneath.
The end of last year was going really well.
Yeah.
For me and my goals. I was really getting into a good, I call them rhythms rather than routines.
No, yeah.
But I was getting into a really good rhythm with a lot of the things that...
And then you got rug pulled.
And then things changed.
Yeah.
And that's brought a lot of blessings. It's brought, overtime pay and things to help us achieve some financial goals, which I've been really thankful for that. And so I always try and tell myself, it's I really want to go home. I'm really over this. No. It's for a season. This has brought, blessings in its own way, even though it's hard.
But
it did change the way that things were going for me and my goals.
Outside of your job.
You're right. Yeah. Right. My goals don't really focus around my job as much as they do for you, which I think is okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah. Yeah.
I like my job. I want to learn more. I want to do lots of interesting CEUs, not only because I have to get 30 by the end of this year, but because I like what I do and I think it's an interesting job.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any goals around it.
Right.
Besides just continuing to learn.
Which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Find your fulfillment in something that you're doing. And for me, it's always been more fulfilling to do things for other people. And I've had to come to terms with that in the last couple of years because I haven't been around a lot of people.
Yeah.
But now being back in person with a lot of my clients and stuff like that, it's definitely been revealed to me that like, I used to always say that I wanted to live, in the middle of nowhere with nobody around. I don't think I could do that.
That's true for you. I really don't.
The more I age, I realize like I'm more of a social person than I thought I was.
Yeah. I think we're maybe small town people.
Yeah.
Like a small number of people.
Yeah.
That live a mile away.
Right. But a
mile's not very far.
No.
You can walk that far. That's
definitely
close
true.
enough to walk.
Definitely true.
I don't know. But I'm looking forward to the next quarter because I'm hopeful that it'll let me get back to where I was at the end of last year.
Yeah, I think you'll get there.
I think so.
Yeah.
So this quarter has been like unexpected in how it's gone, but it's been
handled
good.
It well.
It's been good.
Right.
I'm not unhappy.
No.
With anything that's
which is
happened.
good.
Yeah.
And even if you were, you've still handled it well.
Yeah. No, I'm
you've
very
coped
happy
very
with the way
well.
that things have gone.
So there you go.
So yeah.
There you go. That's something that I like to do, and I've been doing it for a couple of years, reevaluating every quarter, every month, whatever it is, your goals, whether they're still important to you,
right?
Whether you want to keep going.
Or if there's a goal that you didn't met, do we want to get rid of it, or do we want to, change something so that we can achieve it next time?
Yeah. So if you made it this far in the podcast, we'd love to hear your goals. If you made any New Year's resolutions, you fell off and you got back on them, or what your general philosophy on goals are, personal improvement, anything like that, however you define it, we want to hear about it. So in the comments on Instagram, whatever you want to do, let us know, and we'll keep the conversation rolling.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you've been watching with us for the past month, we like to end every episode with a segment we call Book of the Week and Movie of the Week.
Yeah.
So
am I going first?
Yeah, go first.
So I think a disclaimer I should share in general with the books that I like sad books. And I'm not ashamed of that. I am who I am.
You are.
So I think that as time goes on, people will notice that a lot of the books, some of my favorite books are like Les Mis, Wuthering Heights.
Literally a book called The Miserables.
Right. I like sad,
I'm with you.
Introspective.
I'm with you.
Type of books. Like the Virgin Suicides.
My movie is very much like that this week.
Snow Falling on most of my favorite books. If you friend me on Goodreads, you will see that I read a lot of books that are just kind of like downers, and I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not a sad person.
No.
Maybe a little bit, but I don't know. Anyway, so just a little disclaimer. But this is a book that I don't even know how I heard of it. It's a relatively obscure pick. It only has like close to 80,000 ratings on Goodreads, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
It's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully I didn't butcher that.
No, I think you got it. I think you nailed it.
But it's really good. It's very short. It's only about 200 pages.
There you go.
And it's very interesting. It's about kind of the idea of if you could travel back in time, what would you do?
What would you change?
What would you change?
I love stories
who would
like
you want
that.
to talk to? But there's a lot of books with that kind of idea, but this one kind of throws a wrench in it because there's some pretty firm stipulations about the rules. And I don't know how much I want to like spoil that, but it's, it takes place pretty much entirely in this very small basement cafe. And there's like this rumor floating around town that like they have a secret and you can travel back in time. At this cafe. And so there's, people who come there who want to change something or see somebody again. And they go there and it's like, hey, I heard that I could travel back in time here. And the waitress or whatever says, well, yes, you can, but I think it's 4 rules, but it's, this, and this. Do you still want to go? And it's very interesting. So I think it focuses on like 3 or 4 different people who go. It's really good.
That sounds really good.
It's really good. And there's another, you might notice at the top of my stack over by the bookshelf, the yellow one with the chairs on it.
Yeah.
It's Tales from the Cafe. So it's like he's written another book.
Cool.
And I can't wait to read that.
Yeah.
But it's short. The writing is just, and obviously I read a translation. I don't speak Japanese.
Right.
But it's just like crystal clear language and it's so beautiful and it's very short. So for all of my short book people out there, it's like 213 pages, I think.
Oh yeah. Easy money.
I really liked
Would
that.
you go back in time?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
I would.
I am the exact opposite.
Not to change anything.
Just to like live in those moments again?
Yeah. I would.
I wonder. Because I've always thought of that question as, would I go back to change anything? And I think...
And this book changed my perspective on that.
Yeah?
It did. It did.
So maybe to experience moments again.
To go see somebody again.
But here's the thing. Would you go back and then you're an outside observer, or are you yourself just like a younger version of yourself?
And that's a good question.
Because if I would definitely go back as the person I am now and kind of watch those things again.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I would want to go back to being a 13-year-old insecure kid with back hair. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't want to go through those feelings again.
Yeah. So it really made me think about those types of questions.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about it off camera and what some of the rules are if you want to know.
Spoilers.
But I don't want to spoil it. I think that everybody would enjoy this book.
It's short, man. Go ahead and get it.
It's short, and it's kind of gone with, and I did read it last year, but starting to branch out.
Yeah.
I've read less than 5 Japanese books, probably.
They're
I have
excellent.
loved every single one. Every single one is on my favorites of all time list.
Somehow,
three of them. Yeah.
Somehow Japanese literature doesn't get the...
It does not get the respect that it deserves.
It's excellent.
And all of the books that I've read, they're all short.
Yeah.
They're all short. They're all less than 200 pages. Naomi.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about that another time. That would be a great reread this year.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I absolutely love.
That's cool. I think I'm going to read that.
Before the Coffee Gets Cold.
Okay.
I mean, it's so good. I listened to the audiobook, and I'm probably going to buy
the physical
let's
copy.
buy it off Amazon when we're done with this so that you can read it.
Yeah.
Because it's just that good. That's a book that I will reread in the future.
Cool.
You know, maybe once a year or two has gone by.
Pretty glowing praise.
Yeah. I just thought about it like this week. I finished it like last November, and I was like, man, you know what was a good book? That one. That book rocks.
Nice work. So the movie of the week is one that I watched.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
So a couple episodes ago, I recommended When Breath Becomes Air.
Oh, yeah.
My mom read that in an airport this weekend. She texted me. She's like,
not a good idea.
This is a great book. I'm at the end, but I'm crying outside the Asheville airport. I'm going to have to finish this later. I said, Mom, this is an ugly cry in your room book. So just for everybody out there who is going to read that book, please read it at home in your room by yourself.
Lock yourself in your closet.
I don't think I was clear enough about that.
I remember coming downstairs and seeing you finish that, and you were
like red in the
destroyed.
face, hyperventilating. Yeah, like don't read this around like in public.
Yeah.
If you're reading When Breath Becomes Air, one of the top, like I said, top 5 books of my entire life.
Very sad.
Read it by yourself.
Yeah. So the movie of the week is one that I watched last night.
Oh.
It's on Netflix. It's an Italian movie. So the Italian name is Lazzaro Felice. It's
well done.
Happy as Lazzaro. Really, really great. Like, I threw it on because whatever. I wanted to watch a movie, and I hate like scrolling through the entire catalog on Netflix. So I just went to my list. I was like, I saved this a year ago. I might watch it, just to get it off my list.
Sure.
Dude, it is fantastic. Very incredible cinematography, shot on 16 millimeter film. Very great characters. So the movie, a basic plot synopsis is like, so the director wrote this movie after she read about a cigarette baron in Italy who was illegally using sharecroppers after they had outlawed sharecropping. But the part of land was so secluded from the rest of civilization that the sharecroppers didn't know.
Really?
So she never told them that they,
Wow.
So basically the first half of the movie is that playing out, and it's very Italian. I don't know if you've ever, Italian cinema is very much.
You really like Italian
love
cinema.
Italian cinema. It's one of my favorite regions. Very introspective, very character driven, slow, very solid. Like, plus listening to Italian is beautiful. So,
Can't argue with you there.
So the first half of them, and then it takes a turn and it becomes very magical realism.
This sounds really good.
It is. I cannot talk enough about it. And the main guy, Lazzaro, it was his first movie, and he plays just this innocent guy.
Wow.
And it's incredible. And I don't want to give too much away, but the twist in the middle, about 1 hour in, it changes on you. and you're like, what is this now? Because you think it's just going to be a story of class and culture, and it is in the second half of the movie, but it's very much like magical realism, and there's some moments in it that are, you're just like, wow, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a little long, it's 2 hours, but on a Friday or a Saturday night, turn off all the lights and just get taken away by
vibe.
it. Oh man. The score is incredible. There's nothing that I didn't like about it. If anything, it's a little slow, but I like a slow movie.
I like a slow book.
If you're not a huge fan of a slow burn, it might not be for you. Mm-hmm. But and I don't know. I can't stop talking about it. It's really, really good. So that's the movie. It's called Happy as Lazaro is the English translation. That's how you'll find it on Netflix. Really good stuff. Go watch it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's the episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, go ahead and
guys.
like, subscribe, all that jazz. Share this podcast around. Mm-hmm. We'd love to get more people's eyes and ears on it.
And comment on how you're doing on your yearly goals and resolutions or whatever you call them.
Right. We hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Get strong. Stay strong. Right? That's the key.
Was I going to say it?
No, I was going to say it, but I got to let you know, you can get strong and then you can get weak again. So the main thing is you got to get strong first, but you got to stay strong.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Get strong and stay strong, folks. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. That was a nice one, my bub.
Yeah. I'm sweating my ass off and I've never had to pee so bad in my life.